What's on today's topic?
Well, a lot of bullshit went down this past couple of weeks. You would have thought niggas thought they got emancipated off the plantation. Because Massa Biden in office.
All right. I need you to elaborate a little bit. What does this mean?
So, you know, racism started, from my understanding after watching news, it started January 2017 when
Okay.
Trump, got in office.
So that's when racism started?
Racism started January 2017.
Okay.
So what happened is, since racism just ran amok, worse than it ever did in American history, worse than slavery, worse than Jim Crow, worse than mass incarceration, a savior entered the picture. His name was Massa Joe Biden.
Okay, I'm feeling like it sounds like you rolling with Trump.
That's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all call me whatever you want. Coon, all that. That's my guy.
So I'm trying to understand how, in this day and age, knowing how Trump has made racial slurs, how you feel comfortable saying that you support this man?
This is my question. I ask everybody this question all the time. What has he said that was racist?
Okay.
No one has told me. They say they don't like the way he talks. Well, I don't like the way a lot of people talk, but does that make them a racist? See, when I'm looking at racism, I'm looking at policy. So, I don't know what policies he's passed that were considered racist. So, I'm not saying he's the savior of America, but I don't remember him locking up a lot of black people. I know Master Joe Biden did. I know that he drafted the '94 crime bill.
All right.
So I gotta go with policy.
But some people can beg to differ and say that, as we grow up, we learn new things, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we're younger, we're taught certain things that we learn from our parents or people that we're around, cousins, uncles, whoever, right? The people we're around, our surroundings. Maybe this is what I knew. Now that I'm getting older, I'm seeing that what I thought was okay maybe isn't okay. So isn't it possible that in '94, Biden was one way and he's now older and mature and he realizes those was not the ways, that was not okay? Isn't that possible?
Okay. Anything is possible.
Okay.
But what is this, 2008 to 2016, there was a guy in office.
Who's the guy?
His name's Barack Obama.
Okay.
So for those 8 years, there was a guy in the passenger seat with him named Joe Biden.
Okay.
So during those 8 years as the vice president of the United States, so we passed 94, now we're in 2008 to 2016. What did this man do that was beneficial to people that look like me and you?
All right, let me ask you this. What has any vice president done?
I totally agree.
I don't think there has been any vice president that has done anything or has been involved in anything. They just there. The purpose of the vice president for me, and I could be wrong, is if in the event the president cannot do their duties for whatever reason, the vice president is going to step in. I don't think that I can remember any vice president that has ever stepped in to do a goddamn thing. So, but again, we don't know what's happening on the back burner, on the sideline. We don't know if Barack said, Joe, hey Joe.
You're the president.
We didn't know, but I don't know if he called him and said, listen, this is how I'm feeling on this. I need your input. We don't know, right? We're not there.
We don't, but Barack Obama didn't do nothing for niggas.
Oh, boy.
I'm just telling you, they've done nothing for niggas. And to me, it's okay they've done nothing for niggas. But why are niggas going out their way to put this man in office? I don't get it.
Because a lot of people are saying he's the lesser of the two evils. That's what you hear.
But I beg the difference. Is he the lesser of the two evils?
Me personally, I'm not nay, yay or nay. I'm not for one more than the other, right? Because as a president, I can see why Trump was voted in, right? I know what they thought, people thought was going to happen. However, I think what I've come to realize is I'm Trump, okay? And when I say that is his attitude, his personality, the way he talked, the way he don't give a god fucking damn. That's me,
right?
Because I'm the same fucking way. I don't give a shit, right? I'm gonna say what's on my mind. China, right? I'm gonna say
China,
right? I'm gonna say what's on my mind, right? And I may not be as disrespectful as he is, but I'm gonna spill it. And I think a lot of people have a problem with it, and that's where the problem comes in at, right? Now, has Trump brought in any money for the people?
Has he what?
Has he brought any money for the people? And I mean everyone, not just black, white, yellow.
I personally, and let's be real. Be real, I don't care about none of them men. I'm being funny. I would have went Trump over Biden, but I don't care about any one of them. Just put that on the table. But, in my personal opinion, I do believe the economy was better under Trump.
Okay.
I believe he put in a lot of America First policies, where before a lot of outsourcing was going on. I think he did do that. And at the end of the day, we don't have to agree with America, but we live here.
Right. So why not get the money here? Right.
Why not?
And I totally agree on that. So my thing is, from that perspective, I want the economy to build because then that helps me too. It helps my pocket, right? And it helps everyone else's. When everybody's okay, then we all good. So I want that to happen. But because of his I don't give a fuck attitude, people tend to not listen to nothing else he got to say because of that attitude. How many presidents you know be on the internet trolling and going back and forth with people? Come on. For me, I feel like you're the president. That's a little tacky. Okay?
But see, I gotta be fair.
Okay, be fair. Don't say social media wasn't out.
No. I'm not saying that.
Barack was on social media.
He sure was on social media.
And he never was that tacky.
But I believe that.
Class, baby. Class. Don't do that.
Listen,
he had some class in.
I mean, no. His pimp game and his Mac game is strong. I mean, Obama could lull you to sleep. I give him that. But I believe that Trump was on Twitter because he wasn't being covered fairly by the news. And we got to be real. He wasn't covered fairly. Whether you like him or not, he wasn't. So to me, that was his way of saying what he had to say. And I'm gonna give you an example. When the whole COVID thing first went down, right? We're gonna talk about that later. When the whole COVID thing first went down, I never forget. I watched him on the news. Right?
I don't think it's recorded. Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
I watched him on the news. He was telling everybody what he was gonna do in terms of like getting this virus under control, etc.
Wait, before we go, I'm Kiya.
Chris.
All right, I have to say that before we go on, before we continue.
I know they might be thinking I'm Kiya, Miss Chris. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Go ahead.
So I'm watching him on the news, and you know he's saying what he's gonna do. Agree or disagree? That's what he was talking about. And then they cut him off mid-speech, man. I've never seen that. Like he's there telling you what's going on, updating on the COVID, and they cut him off. And I'm like, yo, when have they ever cut the president of the United States?
Could they have cut him off because he was talking shit?
No, he was telling them what he was going to do.
And what was that?
I don't know. All I know was it was about PPE and ventilators. Listen, it was a shit show. But the point of the matter is he's the president of the United States.
Okay.
Whether you agree or disagree with him.
So you saying because he's the president of the United States, no matter what he's doing, we're supposed to respect him as such?
We don't have to respect him, but if this is a crisis, a pandemic, he's on TV addressing the nation, you don't have to like him. But for example, people didn't like George W. Bush, but they wouldn't cut him off while he's addressing the nation during the war in Iraq. They wouldn't do that. So I believe that Trump was on Twitter so he could be covered, maybe not fairly, but he can be covered the way he wants to. So, for example, I may not have seen his whole speech on the news, but then I go on Twitter and click the link and I can see what he's talking about. Okay. That's why I.
But the problem is, like you just said, it was a shit show. It's always everything with him was a shit show.
Oh, it's total shit show.
So it was hard to. It's hard to take him seriously. By the time the COVID pandemic came out, this epidemic here, I don't want to hear nothing he got to say, because when I go on there to see him, I'm not going on there to hear what he got to say in regards to issues. Mm-hmm. I'm on there to hear the foolishness, to laugh.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely laughing.
You understand what I'm saying? I can't take him serious as a president. As a businessman, maybe. But is that right for the United States, though?
You know what? I believe it could be right for the United States, because.
But I don't have time. We don't have time to train him to know how to do everything else.
But that's the thing. What is the president of the United States' job? His only.
I don't know. You want a job description? Hello. Can we get a job description of what the president is supposed to be doing? The same thing when you have a presidential candidate in school. What are they supposed to do? Make sure that what happens. Make sure this happens.
Make sure the money comes in. Okay. That's what I was saying. Else? Who else would you rather have than a businessman to make the money? That's all.
That's not all they do.
What's his job? He's like, it's almost like. All right, the United States is a corporation. Right?
Exactly. But that's not his only job.
But he's the chairman of the corporation, right? So his job is to make sure the corporation is running. Now, there's ways and means to make this corporation run.
Okay.
For example, sometimes you gotta go blow something up, right? Because they might be infiltrating your corporation. That's why they go to war.
All right.
So his job is to make sure cats don't come up in here and take the goods of the corporation, right? So another thing, his job is to make sure if a virus infiltrates the corporation, which hurts the employees, which will be us, because we all have social security numbers, the employees of the corporation, we got to make sure all the employees don't die. And that gets to this other point, when this so-called pandemic first jumped off, what did he say? Because they said it was coming from Wuhan, China, right? All of them were saying it, not just him.
And then again, and that's what was being said.
Right, and what did he do? He said, listen, how about we stop travel to China, right? And what did everyone call him? He's a racist, he's this, he's that, he's a xenophobe. And he said, look, let's stop international travel from China. Then he said, let's stop it from Europe. He did that. They all called him, the other politicians said, yo, listen, he's a xenophobe, he's a racist. He was even down in Chinatown with the Chinese, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. We can't believe he did.
Well, you know what? So let me tell you why that happened. And I'm going to say this real quick. The problem is everybody is so intent on being socially correct.
Right.
Right? So if you have a group of people and he's saying, let's not go to China, now they feel like they banished, they shunned. We have to start getting to a place where we are uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And that is the problem. And that's why all that happened, where it was like he's a racist and he's this and he's that. But he has said things before. Or maybe not that he said it, is the way that he say it, and it comes and it sounds like
but
it
that's emotional.
has a racist
but so
undertone to it.
I get it, but so what? Like, my thing is this. Like, I'm going back to my point. His job is just to run the corporation. It's not to make you feel good. Let me tell you, who goes to work and their boss makes them feel good? That's not the boss's job.
Okay,
the boss is there to make sure you do your job.
But I gotta feel like my leader is leading me because they know what they're doing. But I never felt like he knew what the hell he was doing.
All right, that's fine. But see, all of it.
And I don't even know what it is he's supposed to do.
But I never felt like
he was stopping. He did what he was supposed to do.
Right, but check this out. Because you were being emotional, right?
I wasn't being emotional. Right, I'm talking. I'm trying to talk for some of the people. Because it wasn't me. Because like I said, I'm neither yay or nay for him.
Well, all right. So because people were being emotional, they said, "Oh, don't stop travel from China." And then what happens? This virus breaks out, right? Then they say, "Oh, you didn't stop it. You didn't stop it soon enough." It's like, hold up. You told him he's a xenophobe for stopping travel, but then he didn't stop it soon enough when y'all told him don't do it. And his job was to protect the corporation. That was it. It don't matter how he says it as long as he does it. So just because you work at a place and don't like your boss, you don't like your boss's delivery, doesn't mean a place isn't raking in money.
Okay, I'm not saying it. Right. What I'm saying is me, as an employee, I have to know, and I can tell you, I've had bosses who don't know what the fuck they doing. And I don't feel comfortable coming to you, going to you, asking you, telling you anything to you. And sometimes, because I am who I am, I'm going to tell you, you don't know what the fuck you doing. And I can't have somebody over me telling me what to do when I don't feel like they know what they're doing. And like I said, I think that at some point he became comical. He wasn't taken serious.
Listen, he got a reality star. He's a reality
And that's
star.
exactly what the problem was.
But here's the
He
thing.
thought we were still on, what's the name of the show he had?
The Apprentice.
He thought that's what we were still on. That's
No,
what
he did. And I get both sides in a way where I can see how, maybe people don't like his delivery, and, he doesn't come off presidential. But I look at it like this. As long as you running the corporation right, that's all I'm really concerned about. And I don't think he did a bad job running the corporation. I don't think so. I think people were eating up. No lie, the economy was rolling up until they started shutting things down. You know what I'm saying? And the economy was rolling. Cats was at work. That's his job. His job to me wasn't to make people feel good. His job to me is policy. Now, you may not like his delivery on the policy, but if the policy is making things better for everybody, then so be it. That's how I looked at it. And I'm not saying he was the greatest president. I don't know white man's the greatest anything to me because I'm a black man in America. It makes no difference.
Please understand, anything that is said on this show is all based on our own personal opinions. These are not the opinions of anyone else. These are just our own personal opinions.
Yeah, and they're going to be some unpopular opinions too, so stay tuned. So, so to me, it didn't really matter who's. It really don't matter to me who's running the show. But I will say this: what bothered me was the fact that cats were celebrating and doing the electric slide. They were electric sliding for Biden on 125th Street. I said, wait a minute, we's free now?
I knew he was gonna get to this, y'all.
We's free.
I knew.
Come on. Listen, you mean to tell me we were in worse shape from 2017 to 2021 than we've been in the last how many years in this country? What, 400 plus years? Come on, man. Come on. So now that this man who signed the crime bill, who was segregating the buses over in Delaware, where he was the the senator or something like that. So now he's coming to save black people from what? What was wrong? This is the thing, and I have to be a realist. What was wrong during Trump's years that wasn't wrong 8 years before? Black people were still getting killed when Obama was in office, right? I think even at a more alarming rate. That was the time of Trayvon Martin, right? Right?
Okay.
So let's get to that.
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you why everybody think Obama was great. I'm rooting for everybody black. Hello, okay. That's what it is. But on top of that, he had this sophistication. He had this suave to him,
Smoking mirrors, man.
But on top, but let me tell you something. A lot of people don't like his healthcare reform that he did, the Obamacare.
Right.
I personally thought there was some cracks and some mishaps in it. But it was also, to me, I thought it was great. And the reason why is coming from someone who has been, I want to say, upper middle class. There's sometimes I will apply for insurance, and because of the amount of money I make, it's ridiculously too much, right? But then when I was starting my career where I didn't have enough money to even get insurance. This policy allowed you to get insurance, right? And make sure you had insurance. You didn't. In the beginning, it was like you didn't even have to have any real income. It was allowing everyone to make sure that they got health care. Unfortunately, in the United States, that's all we have. Healthcare is a big moneymaker. You go to other places and healthcare is free, right? So unfortunately, here that's what it is, and so it allowed for people who couldn't afford any kind of healthcare to now get it, right? And I think that, like I said, there was some cracks and issues, but for the most part, the point of it was to be good, right? And for me, anytime somebody want to make sure health, if you ain't got your health, you ain't gonna be here,
That's
right?
true. No, I totally agree.
And so I think that for me, Obama just said not right. I'm not saying he was the best. I'm not saying he was the worst. I happen to have liked Reagan, but anyway, I think for me that was That was a win on his belt. And then he had his wife, who was just elegant, right? She just helped add the notch for him, right? And it was, for Obama, it was really about his persona. It was everything was aesthetic.
Exactly.
But again, it was aesthetic along with, he had some bells. He had some good qualities.
I think Barack Obama,
I'm not gonna say he was horrible.
I think he's the most smoothest, like, forget president, like, dude in, like, television history.
Y'all see him when he be
hands down. Has he done anything for black people? Hell no. So
but I don't think that he did anything specifically for us.
But that's the problem.
But he did stuff for us, for America, for the United States. That's what he did.
Here's my issue. Hear me out.
Because he's a black president, he has to do something for black people.
No, that's not my point. No.
Let's hear his point.
Here's my point. My point is the amount of black support he garnered. Not because he's a black man. I don't care if he's a blue. I don't care what color you are. My thing is this. Every other group gets a particular interest and they get it out, right? And they vote on their interests. They don't vote on personality. Our problem is, not all black people, but we vote on personality. No. It doesn't matter. Like Bill Clinton did nothing for black people. But black people were waiting on lines to vote for the man because he played the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show.
And smoked weed and go over something probably.
Come on, man. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying because of your color you have to do anything for black people.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that we're going to go out and vote like that, right?
We should be voting for somebody who's going to help us.
Not just somebody.
Not just
what I'm saying is, before, for example, I'll give an example to get to my point. Ice Cube got this paperwork together. He got with some of the top black mathematicians and economists like Dr. Claude Anderson, to name a few. He got with them and created a contract with Black America. Whether you agree with the contract or not, what he did was, which I believe is very strategic, he went to both parties, the incumbent, which would be at the time Donald Trump, and then he went to Biden, who was running for president, came with this contract and wanted to talk to these people. Joe Biden says, well, we'll talk after the election, right? So, okay, fine. Trump says, well, you know what? He sat with them. His people sat with Ice Cube, and they saw what this contract entailed, what blacks would need in this day and time for us to, have our businesses, get the money.
For us to be on the same level.
Right. So we could be on the same level, and we could be in the playing field, and we don't have to be begging and asking for shit. Now, what happens? Black people say, oh man, how you meet with, it don't matter who he's meeting. You meet with Trump, it don't matter who he's meeting with. He's being smart. If we're gonna vote for any one of these people, they have to have our interest. And that's what most groups do. You know who I give big props to? The LGBTQF, whatever. Listen, they get all that stuff done. Let me tell you, they sat down with Obama before he even became the president, man. And they said, this is what we need done. If you don't get this done, we're not voting for you, okay? He said, all right. He made a promise, whatever. They put money into his campaign, which that's how it goes. You do for me, I do for you, right? Quid pro quo, right? Black people don't live by that. Black people live by, yo, he got swag, yo. He black, man. He plays the saxophone.
Where does that come from?
Where
does that come from?
Slavery.
Right.
And then what
comes from what we grew up knowing, like,
right.
How it was embedded in us, like being lighter or having, because we didn't have worldly things. We didn't have shoes and sneakers and our hair wasn't done, our neck. We didn't have those things. Mm-hmm. So it's innate in us now that's what everything has to be aesthetically pleasing to us.
And that's the problem.
But I want to say this real quick. For me, Obama wasn't just aesthetically pleasing. He was average in his work as a president.
Right.
He didn't do anything like woo, and he didn't do anything I was like, the fuck is he doing?
And that's fine.
But I have questioned Trump a couple of times. I said,
what has Trump done?
What the fuck are you doing?
Forget his speeches. What did he do? Policy-wise. Forget his rhetoric.
But that's my point. I can't even tell you because when he got on stage, I was like, here come the buffoonery.
It is the buffoonery, but here's the thing.
I couldn't hear anything else.
You don't have to hear what he has to say. This is how I feel. Unless he's addressing something that you need to talk about. Policy
It's
when bills are passed, laws are passed, signing executive orders.
So tell me a policy that you think that he did, that he did in his time.
Well, I did appreciate when he was reversing all those
letting the men go from jail?
Well, men and women go. He was reversing a lot of those laws and stuff that was keeping us locked up for years. You know, because all of us have had family members or have been in the prison system where people of color were being locked up longer.
Okay, so how did you feel? How did you feel about him, the way he was treating the immigrants?
I have an unpopular opinion on that. I have an unpopular.
Okay,
my thing is this.
We're gonna have to get to this.
We're gonna have to get to it
because I want to hear what is unpopular about your opinion in regards to people being in cages.
What? No. See, that's not fair. Who was the first person to put them people in the cages?
I don't know.
Was it? It wasn't.
We ain't going there. We're not going there.
We ain't gonna go there.
We are not going there.
So
Rock, he didn't.
All right. See, it's always touchy talking about Obama. So here's the deal. What I'm saying is, with Trump immigration, right? Here's my opinion. I only look sometimes from the perspective of being a black man, right? And historically, a lot of these rights that everyone else has,
we don't.
Not that we don't, it's the fact that our ancestors fought for it, but yet don't benefit. And the same people who are the descendants of our ancestors, which is us, get disrespected by these immigrants that come here because of our ancestors. So in layman's terms, the civil rights and human rights that our ancestors were getting lynched for, hosed down for, dogs sicked on them for, you understand what I'm saying? Listen, the immigrants come because civil rights isn't just for one particular race. Right. Even though one particular race fought for it, right. It's for everyone. Now, they come in this country, right? And I think everyone has the right to freedoms and getting things in this country. But let's be real. If you go to an Asian store, and it's not just Asians, but I'm making an example. They'll follow you around the store. They don't treat you like everyone else. You're patronizing. You're spending your money. They don't treat you with respect, but yet they're here because of your ancestors. How many videos we've seen where people go up in the store, they're getting into it with these people, they treat our people like shit, and we continue to go buy from them. Okay? So my thing is this: when our people are getting shot down the street,
why are we continuing to buy from them? Because we don't have.
Why don't we?
Okay, and I get you.
Why don't we?
But I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying because this is how I felt. I believe that there should have been a limit on, or pull back a little bit on, what immigrants can have access to. I totally believe that. Because we are overpopulated here, right? And it's because of the land of the free and you know, so many people come here for that chance. But when so many other people come, it take away from us, right? And I don't just mean black Americans, I mean Americans, people who are citizens, right? Who were born here. So unfortunately, I do feel like there should have been some limits on what they were entitled to or allowed to get. I don't think they should have been in cages though.
No, I don't think they should have been in cages, but I don't believe that he started that. Because those cages didn't just appear.
So why didn't he remove them?
Huh?
Regardless of who started it, why didn't he remove them? Why they don't have cots? Why they don't have folding beds, blow-up beds, something? Why are they in cages? Like animals.
Here's the deal. I don't know why. It's wrong.
Why nobody took the time to make sure that when I separated you from your mother, I knew who the hell your mother and father was so that later on I can bring y'all back.
No, I agree. It's wrong. I'm not agreeing with the methodology. What I'm saying is the methodology didn't start January 2017. And actually, I don't believe the methodology stopped as of January 20th, 2021. I don't think I want to know what's going on with these cages. So here's my deal. I'm not agreeing with it. What I'm saying is this. As a black man, right? When things happen to black people, right? I'm not saying there are other races who might, jump into protest and things like that, which we saw for the George Floyd thing this summer. But throughout history, when things are going down, when we were fighting for things, they wasn't sitting up there advocating for us. Even now, come on, let's be real. We grew up in New York City, right? before Uber, if you were downtown and you were flagging down a cab, they would pass your black ass and go to the white guy standing right next to you and pick them up. And the reason they're able to drive a cab is because of my ancestors. They wouldn't have been able to come up in here and get this money without our ancestors. They always want to talk about Ellis Island.
Come on.
They always want to talk about Ellis Island. Who's here before Ellis Island?
Why did that happen?
Why?
Why? Because, and let's be real, not every black young man or young woman did it, but let's be real. A lot of times you hear about these black people getting in cabs, jumping out, robbing them. Okay. So you didn't really hear too much about it in the white community. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean they never did it. You just ain't hear about it. So if I'm a cab driver and I know that there's a possibility that I pick up these group of black people, I may not get my money, or they might try to rob me, I might pick up the white person. I'm not saying me, because I'm here for anybody who's black. But
I get that.
But I do want to say this also. You asked me about Trump, and I had to think about it because I was like, he ain't gonna sun me right now. So I had to think about it, right? And I thought about it, and I said, the fucking wall that was built. That was a waste of money and time and argument.
I disagree. I disagree on that.
How people can still get over the fucking wall?
The new wall?
Yes.
That new wall?
Yes.
That's a wall.
Go look at that wall, and they show you that you can go on YouTube and see how people still get over that wall.
That new wall.
Yes.
I gotta go on YouTube. That's a wall.
You better go in there and look.
I'm gonna see, man. Listen, like I said.
Please remember this day that he said that.
And I'm gonna listen.
Next and I want him to come back and say,
I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see if anyone got over that wall.
I looked. I seen how they got over the goddamn wall.
The new wall. That big wall.
The new one. The NEW.
Ah, that's a big wall.
The NEW.
That's a big wall. That's a big wall.
That was money that could have been spent on something else.
Okay, but let's be fair.
Let's be fair. We allowed them in for free, so why do we need a fucking wall to keep them out?
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Was he the first person with the idea of this wall?
I don't know.
Okay. He wasn't. He wasn't. Let me tell you something.
Who else started the wall? Who else started the wall?
They've been talking about a wall for the past.
Who was talking about the wall?
The Bush administration was talking about a wall. They've been talking about a wall.
Bush?
Right.
Did Bush put the wall up?
Because no one was funding the wall.
Okay. So now he decided to take their idea, a stupid idea, because at the end of the day, we are the land of the free. We let them get whatever they want, and that's why I said he could afford to take some things back. But you putting up this wall for what? They gonna find a way in.
Right. But now, okay. So let's say the wall's a stupid idea. Let's go with that. Let's go with that argument.
My opinion is stupid.
Let's go with that argument. So what is the solution? So let's say we don't put up a wall, right? Because like I said, I don't have a problem with immigration. I'm a black man. I have other issues. But let's say immigration is a problem, right? Let's go with that. What is the solution? If we don't build a wall, how are we going to stop them from coming in?
They come in regardless.
Right, but if you don't, so let's say, if they want to try
if you don't have procedures and protocols put in, I don't know. So because I've never been over there. I never sat down. I never surveyed the land. I don't know what can be done.
I get it. But
right? And I don't understand why it costs that much to build a wall. I don't know. I'm not there.
But if that's
I'm just saying it has to have been something else that could have been done with that money.
Like what?
He could have done something else with the money.
But what I'm saying is, this is what I'm trying to say. Let's say that black people got together. Let's say black people got together and put a super PAC together, right? Let's say, you know what? We want to put this money together.
It's never going to work.
No, I'm making it clear.
One person is going to try to support with the money. It's my own people, and I'm going to say that.
Hear what I'm saying? If they put a super PAC together when he was running for president and say, you know what? We want you to be the president, and instead of taking money for a wall, how about we put that money up and build community centers? I'm just that's
not right. I get it. That's just your example.
There's other things to be done, but let's build community centers. But no. So right, the wall money could have probably went to something else, just like other money from other administrations going to other things. But we don't do anything for the money. All we do is get online and vote or not vote. And I feel like if there's money there that could be spent on something, you get your people together before you go waiting online and vote or die and all these damn stupid campaigns, and you say, listen, instead of building that fucking wall, we want you to do X, Y, and Z with the money. So that's why I'm saying, what else was they going to do with the money? Because the money just sitting out there. Money is going to everybody else but us. And yet still, we're the only ones when it's
so then the problem isn't
online voting.
Obama. The problem isn't Trump. The problem isn't Biden. The problem is who?
Black people.
Okay.
There we go.
So there you go.
There we
and
go.
that concludes our show.